This film's like an ape with a puzzle. It's just gonna keep going until you leave. Jason Momoa returns as Aquaman, and like every film this guy's in, he just plays himself. The same long-haired, skull ring-wearing knobhead that your girlfriend would shoot you in head to be with. Story kicks off a few years after all that Justice League bollocks, and Momoa's having a good moan about how bad he is at pulling out and how he don't want to beat King of Atlantis no more because they won't let him smash mermaids whenever he wants. He gets Boba Fett to help him look after the kid because Mum's not going to be in this film that much. So Momoa and Boba have had a wee tin of the black stuff, and Momoa's like, Dad, I really hate my f***ing job. What should I do? And then Boba comes in with some next level baby boomer advice and he says, listen lad, just keep going into your job, and if you're still alive in 30 years, you can retire. Alright, thanks for that. This sage wisdom gets cut short when Momoa Jr. starts telepathically talking to some goldfish, and Jason Momoa's buzzing off his head. He goes up to the kid and he's like, this makes you better than everyone else, son. And I'm like, excuse me? Your kid's better than mine because I don't tell him to stick his head in a fish tank. F*** you. You got some nerve, buddy. You got some nerve. Meanwhile, this guy's still salty about Momoa killing his dad, so he needs to fix the helmet on his A. Arnold spacesuit so he can have another tear-up with Jason Momoa outside Greg's. To do this, he needs some scientists to help him dig through some ice caps because there might be some helmets down there, I suppose. Two science nerds fall through 100 feet of sheet ice, and a squid monster's down there. It starts going mental and attacking both of them. And one that's fine says that one with broken legs, quick, run away! So it drags the guy with broken legs down this tiny little crevice. And then A. Arnold shows up, and he's like, oh, we're going down there. We're definitely going down there. Might be some spacesuit helmets down there, lad. Get your scuba gear on. And you know as well, Antarctic cave diving's a dawdle, isn't it? It's like reverse parking. You do it once, it's like, it's fucking easy, this, what's everyone on about? And chubby science nerd's like, nah man, there's a squid monster down there. And he's like, ah. So they go down and squid monster's there, obviously, 'cause it's only been 5 minutes. It starts tearing everybody apart. Grabs hold of A. Arnold and smashes him into the floor, and he kind of just lands on a magic stick that shows him a green ghost man that gives him superpowers. Squid monster sees this, and he's just over it, so he just leaves. Like I wish I could. Meanwhile, the Sea Council busting Jason Momoa's balls, and they're like, listen man, the sea's too dirty, you got to do something else, you got to clean this up. It's like, I don't want to though. Film slips in another global warming, I told you so, about if weather keeps getting nicer, apparently it's going to be a bad thing. So this woman's like, please, please, we need frozen windshields and slush under his cars. And she keeps on at Momoa like this, like, oh, the surface world don't care about us. And he's like, of course they don't, they don't even know we're down here. Meeting adjourned. And while he's away, bad guys breaking around Atlantis, start tearing place up with this weird rusty old submarine they've got that's propelled by 1800 steamboat engines, but yet somehow is better than a cyborg shark with laser jets flying it around. Momoa flies back in and he's like, oh, what's going on here? But he gets stomped by the power of rock and roll, and his wife gets cooked by a laser. It's almost like somebody don't want to say or do anything in this film. I've no idea why. But anyway, next bit. So Momoa comes through from getting sparked out and he's like, oh shit, I need to save the world again. If only I was part of a league that was specifically designed for these exact types of situations. Well, you were, but they sacked Superman, Batman can't be arsed anymore, and the Flash turned out to be completely mental. So, it's not a thing anymore, mate. And Momoa's like, well, forget them, man. I'll bret my brother out from prison from that film ages ago nobody saw. And Dolph's like, your brother's a prick, man. Forget about him. And Momoa's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. So he breaks into prison where his brother being held, and the film's Scorsese-esque dialogue describes the prison as being on the surface but deep underground. He breaks his brother out of prison, and it's the guy with big forehead from Stretch, and he's like, I hate you, I really hate you, so I'm not going to help you. And Jason Momoa's like, come on you dickhead, why are you being a dickhead for? And his brother's like, oh, okay then. That's it. That's literally all it takes. You know, he threw this guy in prison to be tortured for years, but we've had a 15-second conversation now, so I suppose we're all right. It's water under the Aquaman. Moving on. They chase up some leads, punch a fishman with tits, and they find out where Hey Arnold helmet is. They sneak into his base, and fat scientist from earlier is like, listen, Hey Arnold's a prick, man. I'll tell you everything you need to know to beat him. But he gets blown up. A big old fight breaks out, and bad guys are using these green guns that are strong enough to kill Momoa, who is in turn hard enough to bear hug Superman. But they're like, nah, we aren't using them. But then baddies come out of a giant mechanical octopus, so Stretch is like, give me one of them gats. So Stretch starts fighting with Octopus and he's shooting it. He's like, these guns are shit, they don't do anything. So it smashes Stretch out of the way, and then Momoa blows it up with some green goo or something. I'm on my phone at this bit, so I don't really know. But then Hey Arnold helmet comes down and he challenges them both to hand-to-hand. He starts smashing both of them up. He throws his magic spear at him and misses, and Stretch grabs hold of it. And Hey Arnold's like, oh, don't touch that. It's source of all my power and it'll tell you how to beat me. So he blasts Stretch with his football head laser, grabs his magic stick, and he just runs off. So the rest of the good guys show up and the heals Stretch, not with the high-tech sophisticated machinery we saw earlier, but just by wrapping his wounds with some dirty seaweed they found on the beach. And I gotta say, I kind of sympathise with Stretch at this point, because what man hasn't woken up on the beach covered in dirty seaweed, unable to recall the last 24 hours? We've all been there. So because Stretch grabbed the magic stick, he's got the scoop now on Big Greeny Ghost Man and where A. Arnold's going. So Stretch is like, listen, Big Greeny Ghost Man, he used to be brother at King of Atlantis.
Like us?
And they're always jealous that he was never king.
Like us?
And eventually, he did a load of magic and King had to stop him.
Like us?
Ugh. But he got sealed in ice, but if anyone ever bleeds on this magic stick with King's blood, then he gets out. And Jason Momoa's like, shit. My dad's a pisshead and I left him watching my baby 2 seconds. Momoa gets back to his house on surface and he finds out that Boba Fett's just absolutely wasted and he's tripped and fallen onto Ariel at car and it stabbed him. And in the midst of all this confusion, A. Arnold's grabbed Momoa's kid to take him and do a ritual to release Big Greeny Man. So Momoa and all his buddies go after A. Arnold because they're like, we can't let him blow up the world, man. I live there. So good guys attack, and the unstoppable submarine from earlier, they figure out its weakness is fish, so loads of fish just swim near it, and it just sort of breaks. Stretch and Momoa reach the final boss, and they smash A. Arnold and his granddad, and that's it. That's the film. I mean, what more do you want? That's what happens. In the aftermath, Jason Momoa goes to the surface, and he attends a press conference where he's like, we want to join the UN, but you can't be pissing in the sea on holiday anymore. And everyone's like, f*** off.